Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things: the Dunning-Kruger effect, restraint bias, empathy gap, status quo bias, endowment effect, loss aversion. It's important to understand these things because when you understand them, you understand different things that kind of mess up your discipline, and you also learn how to kind of like, get over these things to become more disciplined. You feel me? So if that sounds interesting to you, like this video, subscribe if you're new. If you haven't seen the other videos inside this series, go to my YouTube playlist for this little mini series because yeah, I've been giving out little gems. You know what I'm saying? Definitely don't sleep on this. You feel me? So first things first, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? The Dunning-Kruger effect makes unskilled people overestimate their abilities, right? While highly skilled people underestimate their abilities. So when it's the same with knowledge too, right? When you think that let's say you just started learning about let's say you just started learning math as a kid, right? You might think that, oh yeah, I know everything. I can add, I can subtract, but the more that you learn about math, you peep that, oh my god, there's calculus and trigonometry. Oh my, you know what I'm saying? It's like the more you learn, you realize that holy shit, there's a lot of shit. But when you don't know that much, you underestimate how much you know. You feel me? Or you, yeah, you overestimate how much you know. And sometimes you also overestimate your ability to do certain things because you don't really have that much experience with something. Now, there's also restraint bias, which is pretty much when people overestimate their ability to control their impulses. And this makes you more prone to expose yourself to temptation, right? A lot of people think that, oh yeah, I'll be able to hold myself back, so they don't take precautions to make sure they hold themselves back. Then when they're in the heat of the moment, they just act upon that thing, right? And then and all three of these, that Kruger effect, restraint bias, and what I'm about to say, empathy gap, these three all relate. Then you have the empathy gap, right? The empathy gap. So people inside what we're gonna call cold states underestimate the intensity and the power of impulses when inside of a hot state. Now, a cold state is when you're not really desiring to act upon an impulse, right? But when that impulse starts to come to you, right, you feel more inclined to act off it. That's a hot state when you're actually wanting to do the impulse. A lot of people, when they don't want to do certain things, they really underestimate the ability of their desires when they're inside of a hot state, when they're triggered, you see? So you gotta be aware of that too. Because these all affect your self-control, because essentially what's happening is that you think that you're more capable than you actually are, which makes you think you could go into situations and that you have the willpower to keep yourself in check, you see? With Dunning-Kruger, you're like, oh yeah, I could definitely keep myself disciplined, you feel me? But it's only until you fuck up so many times when you peep that, damn, I actually cannot always be that disciplined, you feel me? Like when you just start trying to achieve a goal, or you just start trying to be disciplined, you might think that it's really, 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 really easy. But over time you peep that, damn, it actually wasn't that easy. But over time, you actually begin to underestimate yourself, because due to the fact that you messed up so many times, you'll take way more precautions and you'll become way more disciplined than you may think that you even are. This happened to me, right? A lot of people, like now, I think I'm disciplined to a good point where I want to be, but I'm about to take shit so far, bro. I promise you. But I'm saying this because a few years ago, I was always being complimented on my discipline, and I was like, I don't really think I'm that disciplined, to be honest. But when I look back on it, I'm like, damn, I really am. I was meditating every day for fucking like what, 5, 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I keep up my working out. You know what I'm saying? I stayed relatively healthy for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I say for the most part because I was vegan, but just because you're vegan don't make you healthy. You feel me? But I was reading constantly. You know, I was making videos constantly. You feel me? I was doing a lot of shit. I'm like, okay. But now I'm like, oh yeah. My point is the fact that you'll get so good with discipline that you'll probably start to underestimate yourself. But anyway, to overcome these effects, Just assume that your self control is not as good as you think it is. Understand that if you don't have to, do not test your willpower by surrounding yourself around temptations, right? Like, for example, let's say that your boy wants to hang out, but you all, okay, let's say that you don't want to smoke right now, right? But you and your boy but your boy want to hang out with you. But all you and your boy do is, all y'all ever do is smoke, and you know that when you see him, he's gonna be smoking, and there's no way to get around that. You feel me? It wouldn't be smart to go chill with him while he's smoking a blunt, because you might want to end up hitting that shit. And if you don't want to smoke, is there's no need to put yourself in that situation. Especially it's different if like this is your homie and y'all do other things besides smoking. But if all y'all do is smoke together, bro, you know what it is. You feel me? It's also like, for example, let's say you're not trying to fall into lust. Okay, block certain accounts on Instagram which keep on promoting lust. You know what I'm saying? Don't, like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, if you don't have to test your, like, also let's say you don't want to eat certain foods, right? Don't go inside of an all you can eat buffet. You feel me? So that's essentially what I'm saying, right? To overcome this, just assume your self control is not that good, and don't test your willpower if you don't have to, right? And now we're gonna go to these three different things, right? The status quo bias, loss aversion, and the endowment effect. So status quo bias, right? This is when we have a preference to keep things exactly how they are. A change from the current state and the current way that we do things is perceived as a loss that we don't want to experience, which makes it harder to change. Now you have loss aversion. Loss aversion is when we have a tendency to we have a stronger preference to avoid losses than achieving gains. So we would rather avoid the loss than actually get a gain. If it came to gaining something or avoiding losing something, we would avoid losing something, even if it means we won't gain anything. You feel me? Then you also have the endowment effect. This is when you give more value to things simply because you own them. You're like, oh yeah, like this, like it'd be like with like this shirt is not worth shit. You feel me? But it'd be like, yo, I think this shirt is worth so much because it's mine. It's like, no, it's not worth that much, my nigga. You feel me? But like sometimes you place more value on something because you own it. Now, here's why all these three go together and stuff like that, right? All of these make you less likely to make you want to let go of things in order to change. You see? Like with the status quo bias, we tend to want to just do what we always do. You know what I'm saying? Because if we change what the fuck we do, it's somehow a loss. Whether it's a loss to the enjoyment that we got from it or a loss to just who we are. You know what I'm saying? The character's changing now, and we're kind of like, oh my god, the character. Oh my fucking, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Hold on. I'll be right back. Right back. So yeah, with the status quo bias, bro, you don't want to change what you normally do. You feel me? So you can't let go of certain stuff because of that. Then with loss aversion, we tend to want to avoid losing things. You know what I'm saying? And then with the endowment effect, we give more value to something because it's ours. Therefore, we don't want to lose. Like, for example, relationships. Because someone is your friend, because they are your boyfriend or girlfriend, you give them more value. I know this for a fact because I've done this before with letting go of people I know I should have let go of. But I'm like, nah, because they provide this value. And it's like, no, they really don't. You know what I'm saying? No. But anyway, my point is the fact that, yeah, all these things make you want to not let go of things. So in order to overcome this, number one, battle the status quo, right? Remind yourself of your goals and ask if the status quo serves the objective, right? Is what you normally do really serving your goal? Remind yourself of your goals, okay? Ask yourself if you would pick the status quo if it wasn't already the current state of things. Like, for example, right? If you started with a blank slate, what would you do, right? Like, most people don't want to give up a routine because this is what they normally do. But what if you didn't normally do this? What would you really want to do? You feel me? You see what I'm saying? If you had a blank slate, what would you really want to do? And then do that. Come up with an alternative to the status quo which seems pleasant to you, right? Start planning out new habits and routines which actually seem pleasant to you. That's like very easy. You know what I'm saying? Also, choose an alternative and yeah, don't act like you can't make up your mind. You feel me? Like just choose something else to do without being like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Like, no. Find an alternative, right? Choose that alternative And don't act like you can't make up your mind when it comes to what else you want to do. You understand what you like, what you don't like, make a decision. Because when you get frozen, right? We mentioned this before. When you avoid making decisions, you tend to just go with the status quo. You see what I'm saying? So don't do that, right? So yeah, these are different things which kill your discipline as well. And I also told you guys how to overcome that shit. You feel me? So also with the endowment effect, I should have said this. With the endowment effect, bro, with loss aversion, you need to consider this. Even though like we tend to want to avoid loss, think about what's the worst thing that happens from you losing this, but also what can you also gain from losing this, right? If you lose this thing, what could come to replace it that's way better? And what's the worst that happens if you lose it? You feel me? With the endowment effect, simply just ask, would I really have this much value towards this thing if it wasn't mine? If I didn't associate with this thing, would I really give this much value to it? How much would I sell this thing for? How much is this thing really worth? What would I really give to keep this thing or whatever the fuck? You feel me? So yeah, that's all the different effects and how to overcome them. How to overcome them. You feel me? I'm gonna end the video right here. Love you. Catch my next video. Peace. The freak out.